YouTube, what up? Today I'll be talking about pre-orders or pre-made and some of the things that I've heard recently on social media, inside of podcast interviews, and things that you definitely need to know about the pre-order method and whether you should go pre-order or pre-made. Now, one of the things that I recently heard, right, in a video with Quan, so shout out to Quan. He was basically on this interview and, he was talking about his life and things like that. And if you guys don't know who Quan is the YouTuber, young black man, killing it, got his own brand, doing all those things, right? So one of the things he was talking about on the video, right, was like, hey, I did this, pre-order method, and he don't recommend the pre-order method to clothing brand owners when you just getting started. Now, for me, you guys know that a lot of my success from my brand came from starting with the pre-order method because I may not have had a lot of money to utilize to put into my brand. So I'm gonna give you guys both perspectives, some things that he could have done better to prevent the situation happening, and then also to kind of give him his flowers as well because he's doing a great job with things, but also to kind of just allow you guys to also understand both perspectives and how you can start your brand, all right? Because it's very key, especially for the new people that are coming in, to really get the right information before just assuming something, right? One of the things that he had the problem with, right, is that he was not expecting to have that many people end up supporting his brand, right? Or end up spending that much money. And from his perspective, he had Shopify put his money on hold. He couldn't go out there and fulfill his orders. He didn't have the money to fulfill the orders right then and there. So it was basically like, I got to keep my lifestyle going and keep the things that I have going right now instead of, putting in money into the inventory, which is understandable, right? But one of the things that I want to kind of allow you guys to understand about the pre-order method is that there's certain things you have to have in place when doing the pre-order method or it will go wrong. So one thing I do want to say first is that 99% of people are not going to deal with the same problem that Quan dealt with, because guess what? Quan has a huge following, right? Like, he has a massive impact on the YouTube space, social media, fashion, all those things. So of course, he may not have known that, but if you just kind of look at the metrics and what he's been able to do, a lot of people love what he's doing, right? And a lot of people want to support him. So the problem with that though, is that a lot of people are scammers a lot of the times, right? So what happens is he releases the brand, you're doing a pre-order, but nobody's talking about how many people actually use fraud or use scamming tactics to buy stuff from other brands. So for the small brand owners, if you're not using apps like No Fraud, right? If you don't have No Fraud on your Shopify website, you're gonna get finessed majority of the time. How do you get rid of chargebacks, right? So for the people out there, if you just have a brand and you don't want your money being put on hold from Shopify, and you don't want all these situations, refund and decline every single order that says high risk. The reason being is because those tend to be people who got somebody else's card and they're just gonna end up charging it back, right? So now what happens is you had, for his situation, he had all these people coming to his website, but a good amount of them were probably chargebacked, right? Now, they weren't charged back because he didn't send out emails. He didn't get chargebacks because of any other reason outside of there was just people with malicious intent that wanted his stuff for free. And it happens for every brand owner, regardless of any level. But here's the thing that you need to know. Shopify doesn't play that shit. So if you get over a 2% chargeback, they won't even let you use Shop Pay. And then if you get over 4 or 5%, they'll shut down your entire Shopify store. Stripe is the same exact way. Stripe and Shopify are connected. So if Stripe isn't having that, Shopify isn't having it, right? So the thing that you need is called No Fraud, all right? No Fraud. It's a Shopify app. What it does is it'll go through each transaction, each order, and it'll detect the person's card number. It'll detect their name, the address, and then the IP address, and then it syncs it. If it doesn't match up with the billing information on that card, they will tell you that you should refund it, and then there's a button that you can click and it refunds all the ones that No Fraud suggested for you not to use. So this would have prevented a lot of the chargebacks that would have happened, right? So that's the first thing that I think, in my personal opinion, right? Now, again, I don't know the exact situation. I'm just trying to inform those of you who want to start a brand and trying to determine if you should start with pre-order or pre-made, okay? The next thing, when you're doing pre-made, you got to take into consideration, you have to have the money. And one thing that I keep preaching to y'all, right? You don't want to put a whole bunch of money into this thing when you don't have enough feedback to know if it'll work, right? So, and this is the crazy part. I'm the one getting the DMs from you guys who are starting brands. Oh, I just got scammed by a manufacturer. Oh, my orders didn't come how I wanted it to, or my packages didn't come how I wanted to. So here's the thing though, all right? Just put a pause on if you should do pre-order or pre-made. Just think common sense right now, right? What happens when you take $5,000 because you got 10K stacked up and you just took 50% of your entire net worth and you want to go put it into your brand. You want to go put it into inventory. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that we got to be smarter with how we go about things. So what ends up happening when you go put, $5,000 in for inventory and then you do get scammed by a manufacturer? Then what? What happens when all of the stuff doesn't come the way you thought it was going to come? What happens if things get caught up in customs? What happens if you can't ship out everything in time? What happens if it gets delayed? Lost in transit? These are a lot of things that we got to take into consideration, especially when you're working with manufacturers, because not every manufacturer is a good manufacturer. So when people say just go out there and do pre-made, I still wouldn't even suggest that, because think about how much money you're putting into a concept that you aren't sure that works yet. And then guess what happens though, right? What happens if you put that money into the inventory? Let's say everything in a great world, right? Nothing gets put on hold. Nothing gets stopped in customs, right? The manufacturer checks out, everything is perfect. What happens when you get the stuff in and you can't move the products? Then what? Now you're stuck with inventory. Guess where it has to go? It still has to go in your house. It still has to go somewhere. So I want you guys to put yourselves in the position to not always just take everything that you hear, right? Because one person may say, don't do the pre-order method, but there's hundreds of other people who have done it and have been successful. I'm one of them. I've done pre-made, I've done pre-order. I've had more problems going pre-made and not being able to move inventory because I went out and I said, fuck it, let me go put $70,000 on inventory and let's just go move everything. And then things get delayed. And guess what? The season changed. So what I was about to drop ends up not being in season. So guess what? I have to delay it. And now the demand for it isn't going to be as high the next time that I drop it because it's a new season. And now I got to wait a whole another year for that season to come back around just to drop the inventory that I was supposed to move. But it got delayed because of my manufacturer. It got delayed because of customs. It got delayed because of whatever reason. My goal in all of this, and shout out to Marcellus, bro, because Marcellus the gemologist, right? This guy right here, goated, giving y'all a game on TikTok, giving y'all a game on Instagram. Shout out to my boy, he killing it, right? This is why I want y'all to understand, there's different perspectives on things, right? I may have a different opinion than Shaq. Shaq may have a different opinion than Kayla. Kayla may have a different opinion than Marcellus. Marcellus may have a different opinion than, Billionaire Studios and whatnot, right? So I want y'all to have all of the sides and how it works completely so you can make an educated decision. I'm not telling you go start with pre-order or start with pre-made. I'm telling you here's the pros and cons of pre-order and the pros and cons of doing pre-made. Right? So what are the cons and actually let's go back. How do we fix the cons inside of pre-order, right? Because people have to wait for stuff. You don't want people to charge back, okay? So we talked about the first one, grabbing no fraud. That should be for pre-made or pre-order. Does not matter. You should be refunding all high-risk orders. If you don't want to refund them, you can email them and text them or call them and have them confirm their information and if they paid, right? That's the first step. The second solution to all of this is your customer service. How often are you keeping your customers informed? The number one reason people are getting chargebacks is because they're not shipping things out in the time frame that they said. So guess what? When you're not giving people updates on something that they paid for, naturally they're gonna go think, oh, this is a scam, especially nowadays. A lot of people have brands. There's a lot of brands out there. And I'm not saying that it's oversaturated and you can't start, but I am saying a lot of brands don't have the foundational pivotal things to keep a brand afloat. So now guess what? Because you built a bad rep for your brand, over time you can't bring it. You can't revive it back. So the best thing you can do right now while you're small, and this is the biggest advantage that you have, is make sure that your systems are in place. So when you're doing a pre-order, you need to keep people up to date every single week. Well, Tez, what do I say inside of that pre-order? Or Tez, what do I say to the people who are waiting for their orders? Just let them know the updates. I feel like a lot of customers are pretty understanding. If they've been watching you, they like your content, if they took their card out and they spent some money with you, they might be a little understanding towards the situation. Your package probably got delayed by customs and is gonna take a few more days. Give them realistic expectations. These are key concepts that every brand needs to have. Policies, exactly. Another one is policies. So what type of policies are you putting in place? The other thing, I talked about this in my other live. Inside of Shopify, if you guys go to your settings, there is a notifications portion of your settings. Now, Tez, what is this? The notifications portion is what your customers receive, not your notifications. It's their notifications on their orders, on things that they bought, or if they came to your website and didn't buy. Those are where you can adjust those email templates that Shopify automatically has for you. So those are automations. The automations will automatically send out if somebody curates or falls into this category, right? So the thing that you should be doing if you're doing a pre-order is in your confirmation email. So we all know if I were to go buy, let's say a mouse, right? They're gonna send me a confirmation email right after I buy it. You can actually change what that confirmation email says. So when you're doing a pre-order, not only do you want it to be on your website, you want it to be under the description of every single product that is a pre-order, but you also want to keep it in the confirmation email. So there should be no reason a person doesn't know that this is a pre-order and that it will take 3 to 4 weeks, right? But the next level of it, right, to go even farther in depth, is now you have to be sure to notify people a realistic expectation. Take into consideration shit might get put on pause. Take into consideration that customs might end up holding your box for an extra week. So that's why I always tell people, yeah, your manufacturer tells you they can get it to you within 21 to 25 days. For the most part, they probably could. But the problem is you still have to take into consideration that you have to ship the stuff out. You have to fulfill the orders, you have to ship it, and in that shipping time frame, you can't control that, right? So now what I would suggest is to add a week or two on top of the expectation that your manufacturer gave you for the customer. So if my manufacturer told me that I should be able to get it within 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to tell all my customers for the pre-order that it's going to be between 4 to 6 weeks. All right. Is this making sense? Drop a fire emoji down below if this is making sense right now and if you guys are getting some value from this, because a lot of this stuff is things that most people don't know. And this is why I wanted to go in here and kind of comment on it additionally and kind of give you guys both sides and scenarios and how you can go about this better. And I'm not in any way trying to say, Quan did it the wrong way or he's not a smart person, anything like that. He's a phenomenal person. He's killing it what he's doing. I just want you guys to know that there's other ways to do things and the right and wrong ways to go about things. All right. And again, like I said, 99% of the people who are starting brands, who are just getting started, you're not going to have the problem that Quan has because he has hundreds of thousands of followers, right? He has hundreds of thousands of followers, probably millions of followers across multiple platforms. So his level of reach is going to be significantly, I'm talking 100x. I know this is no diss to any of you guys, but his reach is probably going to be 100x, 1000x, or 10,000x more than what you would be able to reach. So you starting as a brand owner is a little bit more realistic for you to go with pre-order because you're not going to run into that issue. So that's the scenario that I want you guys to understand. There's things that you need to know before you just start doing stuff, right? And this is why I always tell people, like, for the people asking me, where do I buy the course? Guys, I don't sell any courses. Any course that I did sell in the past is now only for my Discord members. It's $60 a month to be a Discord member. That's it. You get all the access to the community and all the courses and all of that good stuff that you need access to. I stopped selling stuff like that because people don't take advantage of it. So what am I supposed to do, right? So I put it in the community. If you're down to be in a community and you really want to learn, you're going to go in there and you're going to actually take the information, you're going to apply it, you're going to ask questions. I'd rather it be an all-in-one hub than separate the two and then now people aren't taking advantage of it. That's on you, right? Now, the next thing. This is very important, okay? Oh my God, this is so important. So I want you guys to listen to this. If you're going to do a pre-order, you need to tell your manufacturer that this is going to be a pre-order. Your manufacturer has to know that you are doing a pre-order, because when you tell a manufacturer, they know what a pre-order is, right? Manufacturers nowadays, whether they're China or Pakistan, they're hip to how we run our businesses, right? Which is they have to understand their customer before they can sell us stuff, right? So here's the thing. You have to tell them that because now there's an expectation that you're giving them. I need this shit in the time frame that you told me, or me and you are gonna have a serious problem. If you don't tell them that, they're gonna take their time. So that's why you have to tell the manufacturer, hey, this right here is a pre-order. I need this in this time frame. So let me know right now, are you 100% sure before you put any money towards it, before you do anything? Are you sure you can get it to me in this time frame? Is this making sense? Drop a yes or a hell yeah in the chat, man. I think as business owners, I think that there's foundational key points that we may not be as accustomed to because you might be new to a business. So I'll give you guys some of the things that I wish I would have known when I first started mine. Customer service is the most important thing ever. And the number one way to keep your business afloat is by keeping recent customers happy. Because guess what? The longer you can keep them happy and the more satisfied you can keep them, the easier it's going to be for them to come back and spend more money with you. I keep telling y'all this, right? It's 10,000 times easier to get a person who has already bought something from you to buy again, rather than getting a complete stranger off of social media to want to buy into your brand. It's 100 times easier. So your main focus as a brand when you're first getting started is, yeah, I may not have the following. Yeah, I may not have all these things, but how do I keep the people that I do have? Stop doubting your capabilities and what you could build for yourself. You're not building this just for you. This is just a vehicle. The brand you're building is a vehicle. If I'm being honest with y'all, I only use my brands as vehicles. Like if you guys look at my brands right now, I barely do as much as I used to because they were all a vehicle. I took all the money I made with my brands and I invested it. I paid for the $5,000, events to go to, just to be in a room for one weekend, $5,000. I paid for the mentors, $18,000 here, $17,500 here, $25,000 here. I paid for the information because I understood what I could do with the information. But you don't believe in yourself. You keep telling yourself because of your environment or because the way you look or because the way you dress or because how you talk on your videos that you're incapable of reaching the level of success that you want. Guess what? Newsflash. The version of you that you want to be, in order to be that version, this current version has to die. The decisions that you're making right now, you can't make those same decisions no more. Because the other you, the future you, the you want to be right now, the only way you're going to get to that is by being that person today. So you know when you should be putting more work in. You know when you should be getting up and going to make your content or getting up and responding to the emails. You know when you should be getting on live and talking about your personal brand, regardless of what business it is. You know when you should be doing these things. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that you're not doing the things that you keep telling yourself you're going to do. And the scary part is that so many of you guys have the potential to do it. That's the fucking scary part. But you're brainwashed. You see everything on social media and you want your life to look just like them, but you ain't willing to put the work in. You ain't willing to earn your stripes. I tell people this all the time, especially to the young people who walk up to me and like, yo, Tez, how do I become successful? How do I do that? And again, I'm not the most successful person in the world. I'm just a person who came from nothing. I got a little something now. You got to go out there and earn your stripes. Nobody is coming to save you. I'm definitely not going to save you. Your mom, your dad, they can't save you. At some point in time, you're going to get to an age in life where you can't keep blaming it on other shit. You got to blame yourself for everything you got. So if a situation went wrong in business, it's my fault. I can't blame it on the fact that I didn't know. That's fucking ignorance. Why didn't I know? Because I didn't go do the research. Why didn't I know? Because I didn't go watch the YouTube videos for hours and hours on end before I started doing something. Why didn't I know? Because I didn't ask the questions to the people who may be in the position that I want to be in. It got to make sense at some point. So you can't keep blaming other people for things that you're not doing. That is 100% on you. And the one thing that a lot of people want and that I won't give for sure is a fuck, right? Don't nobody give a fuck. Don't nobody care. Why are you blaming? You're not getting anything out of blaming anyone else or anything else. And I know I just went off on a tangent because I really wanted to educate y'all, but I want you to realize that it's very possible for you to become the version that you want. You just have to set your mind on it and then show up to do it. That's it. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about how you look today. Post that video. Don't worry about if people are gonna go to your website. Post that content. Don't worry about if the pictures are perfect or not because you don't have a camera that's $3,000 that you've seen on YouTube that told you need this in order to get this many sales. Fuck that shit. I know people who are doing 7 figures a year off their phone with their brand. No camera, just a regular iPhone camera. But because you don't have the things that other people have, you can't accomplish it. Man, that shit is bullshit, bro. You're just telling yourself, you're just giving up on yourself and giving yourself an excuse as to why you can't do it. It's yourself convincing yourself. It's a scary thing. So now we have to, again, go out there, get the information and execute on it. And just stop believing everything before you get the research and before you do the research and before you really get all sides of everything. Make it make sense then, right? Make it work then. So go put the work in. If you don't know whether you should do pre-order or pre-made, I just gave you both options. This is the answer. It depends on the position that you are in as a person, financially, all of it, right? What position are you in? Do you have money sitting around? Do you have a consistent job paying you? Do you have, money set aside, or is your expenses low? Then you might be able to start with pre-made. but that doesn't mean that you don't need to put the work in to know how to make it sell. Pre-order. Do you have less money to work with? Do you not have an extremely consistent job that's paying you a good amount of money? You probably shouldn't do the pre-made then. Are you still trying to see if this is the right thing for you? You still don't have to go with the pre-made then. So the answer is you can go with the pre-made or you can go with the pre-order. It is 1000% up to you guys. But just know the pros and cons of both of them. If you're doing a pre-order, how long should you run your pre-order for? You can either do a 72-hour pre-order, which is 3 days. So here's the scenarios. If you have a huge following, you could do 24 hours. You could do 72 hours. You can do 1 week, right? That's the most that I would say is to do. Like the most I would ever go up to is a week. The one that I would recommend is a 72-hour pre-order. The day you would usually start is like a Friday and you end it on a Monday night. That way people are getting paid on Friday, they shop with your brand, you try to keep the momentum going throughout the weekend, and then you end it off on Monday morning or Monday night. So it's a 72-hour pre-order. So those are the 3 that I would recommend. Anything else outside of that is completely up to you. You do what you want with it, but I'm telling you, you could do 24 hours, 72 hours, or a week. So again, take this information and then go decide which position you're in and which way you want to start. And then if you don't know how to actually start the right way, go get the free case study. I built an entire free course. It's 100% free. If you want to work with me and things like that, you can join my Discord community or you can book a call with my team. But if that's not something you're interested in, you do not have to do it. If anything, I'm telling you not to do it because we're only looking for a certain type of person, just to be completely honest with you, right? And if you're not serious, I don't even want you to take that time to even talk to us. You can just get in the community where other serious people are, or you can just take the free case study. And then it's like 2 or 3 hours long. If you've already watched it, I want you to drop your opinion down below in the comments. For other people who may be nervous or don't want to go through and watch the whole thing, whatever it is, or the people who said they signed up and they never opened it ever because it's just sitting in their email, right? What's your honest opinion on it, right? Free case study goes hard. So again, it's a full thing showing you exactly how to start, showing you exactly what you need to be doing. Manufacturers, building the site, marketing, pre-orders or not, all of those things, all the questions you could possibly have is inside of there. It's short, compact, straight to the point. Very informative, major knowledge. Get the case study, it's 100, right? So again, to go back on what I said, even though Quan said not to do pre-orders and he advised people not to do pre-orders, I am here to tell you that there's people who have good experiences with pre-made, pre-order, does not matter, and there's people who have bad experiences with both of them. You just have to know which one and which one are you trying to do, which lane is going to be best for you, and then making sure that you put the systems in place for the lane to be executed on the right way, and so you can get the result that you want. The only way you can do that is by getting the information to know what is right and what is wrong. If you don't know the difference between the two, you need to do more research before you start. That's just with anything. So you can go out there and get the information and actually take it serious and then, execute on it. There's a bunch of people DM me like, yo, Ted, I made $3,000 from shit that you said. I wish other people would listen to you. I wish they would too, you know what I'm saying? But that's completely up to you. And how do you market the pre-order? You can market it for up to 7 to 10 days prior to the pre-order. So if I'm doing a pre-order, let's just say March 21st, I would start promoting it. I would make the content, all of that stuff a month in advance. So that way I know what's gonna roll out and I can have an idea of what's gonna roll out on what days. That's a very key part, right? And then when you do the pre-order release, making sure you get as many people from your email and your text list that you're building on there as possible. All right, hopefully that made sense. So yeah, 7 to 10 days as far as the time frame to market it. So hopefully I cleared up a lot of the questions. If you guys did like this, make sure you guys leave a subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below which one do you prefer, pre-order or pre-made. I'm definitely interested in knowing your reasonings why. And if you learned something new, make sure you guys share this video with someone else. It's your boy, The Real Tez. Catch you guys in the next video.